Hello everyone, and right now we are going to take a look at the superior thyroid artery, which is one of the most important branches of the external carotid artery. Now let's try to draw it again. So the external carotid artery and the internal carotid artery. And we have already studied the ascending pharyngeal artery. So the superior thyroid artery starts just below the greater cornu of the hyoid. So let us say somewhere here, just below the greater cornu of the hyoid, somewhere here is the beginning of the superior thyroid artery, and it curves down and goes down to the thyroid gland, to the apex of the lateral lobe of the thyroid gland. So the trunk of the artery can be said to arise from the external carotid artery just below the greater cornu of the hyoid bone and descend down up to the apex of the lateral lobes of the thyroid gland. So this is more or less the extent of the superior thyroid artery. Now when it is descending down, now it is going parallel actually to the thyrohyoid muscle. So if we draw the hyoid bone, we are saying it's just below the greater cornu. So suppose we draw the hyoid bone, the greater cornu, we draw it. And the lesser cornu as well. So if this is the greater cornu of the hyoid bone, then this would be the thyrohyoid muscle. This is the thyrohyoid. So you can see that the superior thyroid artery accompanies the lateral border of the thyroid, and actually this whole thing is again overlapped by the sternocleidomastoid. So the beginning of the superior thyroid artery you can see better by retracting slightly the sternocleidomastoid. So you can see the sternocleidomastoid here, and then when you have dissected out the superior thyroid artery, you can see that it is going down and it is going by the side of the thyroid. And when you have got to the superior thyroid artery, again you will be able to make out that it is accompanied by the external laryngeal nerve close to the apex of the thyroid gland. So when it is reaching the thyroid gland, it is accompanied by the external laryngeal nerve as well. Now the external laryngeal nerve is medial to the artery. And now because we are going to the thyroid gland, and because this is the superior thyroid artery, it will obviously supply the thyroid gland. So how does it supply the thyroid gland? See, this is the thyroid muscle. So somewhere here we have to draw the thyroid cartilage. So we draw the thyroid cartilage again, and this is the oblique line of the thyroid cartilage over here and over here. That means this thyroid muscle that we have drawn, it will be starting above the oblique line of the thyroid cartilage, and if this is this thyroid, then below over here you expect the sternothyroid muscle. So this muscle is the sternothyroid. So now you have the sternothyroid as well as the thyroid and the oblique line of the thyroid cartilage. Not only that, from below this structure you have the inferior constrictor coming up. So this muscle is the inferior constrictor. That is also attached to the oblique line of the thyroid cartilage. Now the upper pole of the thyroid gland is actually sandwiched between these two muscles, as you are well aware. So the sternothyroid and the inferior constrictor, between them trap the upper pole of the thyroid gland, and you can actually see the upper pole of the thyroid gland very well only when you have removed the sternothyroid muscle. So we will remove the sternothyroid muscle, and there when we have removed the sternothyroid muscle, we are left only with the inferior constrictor. So the inferior constrictor, both the thyropharyngeus part and the cricopharyngeus part, and obviously the sternothyroid muscle. And now the upper pole of the thyroid gland then is somewhere here, trapped between these two muscles, trapped between sternothyroid and the inferior constrictor. So this is the upper pole of the thyroid gland. That means this superior thyroid artery will extend up to here. It will come to the upper pole of the thyroid gland and it will be accompanied by the external laryngeal nerve. Now once it reaches the thyroid gland, this superior thyroid artery once it has reached this point, it is going to give an anterior branch. It will descend on the anterior border and anastomose at the isthmus with its fellow, and it's going to give a posterior branch which is going to descend along the posterior border and anastomose with the inferior thyroid artery behind. So you have an anterior branch and you have a posterior glandular branch, and sometimes you may also have a lateral branch. So usually at the upper pole of the thyroid gland it ends as an anterior branch and a posterior branch, occasionally with a lateral branch, and the external laryngeal nerve which was coming along with it now diverges and goes to the cricothyroid muscle. That is why we were used to say that if you want to tie the superior thyroid artery, you must tie it close to the upper pole, because at the upper pole the gap between the superior thyroid artery and the external laryngeal nerve is a bit slightly more substantial. So from the superior thyroid artery we are now coming to the glandular branches. So this is one set of branches. So superior thyroid artery is expected to supply the thyroid gland. It does supply the thyroid gland as an anterior, posterior and occasionally lateral branch. The anterior branch anastomosis with its fellow of the opposite side over the isthmus. The posterior branch anastomosis with a branch from the inferior thyroid artery, and occasionally you have a lateral branch. Now apart from the thyroid, what other structures does the superior thyroid artery supply? You have here the hyoid bone. So let us tell you now that it supplies an infrahyoid branch. And this infrahyoid branch passes along the greater cornu of the hyoid bone and it anastomoses with its fellow of the opposite side. So this is one additional branch. Apart from the glandular branches, you have one infrahyoid branch. Not only that, you have a sternocleidomastoid branch which crosses the carotid sheath and comes posteriorly to supply the sternocleidomastoid muscle. Not only that, the superior thyroid artery also gives a superior laryngeal branch. Now this superior laryngeal branch, what happens to this superior laryngeal branch? Between the thyroid and the hyoid, you have the thyrohyoid membrane. Now if we remove the thyrohyoid muscle, then deep inside you have a thyrohyoid membrane. Suppose we draw a thyrohyoid membrane like this. So you have a thyrohyoid membrane, and into this thyrohyoid membrane you have a superior laryngeal branch which pierces the thyrohyoid membrane and goes deep inside to supply the larynx, and it is accompanied, this thyrohyoid membrane, this superior laryngeal branch is accompanied by the internal laryngeal nerve. So actually you have the internal laryngeal nerve here, you have the external laryngeal nerve here. So these two actually were high up the superior laryngeal nerve, and this superior laryngeal nerve has divided into an internal laryngeal nerve and an external laryngeal nerve. Now of which this external laryngeal nerve accompanies the trunk of the superior thyroid artery right up to the apex of the thyroid gland, and the superior laryngeal and the internal laryngeal nerve accompanies the superior laryngeal artery, pierces the thyrohyoid membrane and goes underneath the mucosa to supply the larynx, and it goes right up to the vocal cords, and beyond the vocal cords it anastomoses with the inferior laryngeal branch coming out of the inferior thyroid artery. So this superior laryngeal branch anastomoses with the inferior laryngeal branch of the inferior thyroid artery. Then from the superior thyroid artery, apart from the thyroid, we had an infrahyoid branch, we had a sternocleidomastoid branch, and you have a superior laryngeal branch. And last but not the least, between the thyroid and the cricoid cartilage, you have a cricothyroid branch. Now this fine last branch is the cricothyroid branch. See, you have the thyroid cartilage here, you have the cricoid cartilage below. If you have to draw the cricoid cartilage, you have to draw it like this. So this is the cricoid cartilage, and between the thyroid and the cricoid you have the cricothyroid ligament over here, and between the thyroid and the cricoid you also have the cricothyroid muscle over here. So this is the cricothyroid muscle, and you have the cricothyroid artery. This cricothyroid artery comes over the cricothyroid ligament, and anastomosis with its fellow from the opposite side. So again, in summary, you have the glandular branches of the superior thyroid artery, you have the infrahyoid branch, you have the superior laryngeal branch, you have the sternocleidomastoid branch, and you have the cricothyroid branch. Now we have completed the branches of the superior thyroid artery. Thank you.